our water. First ever technology, no one else has done this. It's water generation. That means water from air. So this unit creates 5 gallons of water per day using water gen technology. We're in this beautiful transition right now from fossil fuels to all electric. If you take a load of dishes, you can pack this thing full, run 1 load of dishes for 6, and it'll use just barely above 1 gallon of water. Sustainability has always been #1 for me. My name is Matt Hoffman. I'm here with the brand new 2024 Living Vehicle HD. This is the first one on the road, first off the line. Let me show you around. All right, so right out of the gate, we're inside the kitchen. Now, kitchen's designed for full-time living, and if you're gonna live full-time, you need one thing, and that's water. Now, right out of the gate, our water, it's a first ever technology. No one else has done this. It's water generation. That means water from air. So this unit creates 5 gallons of water per day using water gen technology. Now, that'll fill up your 100-gallon water tank on board. So you're gonna have a ton of water with you wherever you go to fill up these multiple fixtures. Now, let me talk about what those fixtures are that use that vital life resource, water. So right here you have, out of the water filtration and treatment system, the water gen sends it to a water treatment unit. Now, what that does is you have 3 different filters, and then you have a water sterilizer to get the best quality water you can possibly get. Right underneath the sink is the final stage. It's a water sterilization using UV light, so you get any of the bacteria and viruses, all that stuff out of there, so you get really high quality water. This tap is a InstaHot system, so that you can have instant hot water, cold water, and it's really high quality. So if you get up out of the bed and you just want to wake up and get right to coffee like me, you just fill it up, get 200+ degree water right there in an instant. This is, of course, is your standard water tap. You have a pull-out fixture, hot, cold. This system does have a tankless water heater though, and this is a little further away from the tankless water heater. It's back in the front of the unit. Now, the thing about that, because you have the line, this unit's designed to be off-grid. It's a fully self-sustaining home. At its core, it's designed to get out there, get into nature, and stay out into nature without ever having to come home. That's my goal. That's why I designed this thing. It's really nice. It's a commercial sink, so you have a 10-inch deep, very high gauge stainless steel sink. Corian countertops, so they're solid surface, so you can cut right on them. It's a solid surface, it's all the way through. We're all about water saving, not just water saving fixtures, but we have some things like a dishwasher. Now, right down here, take a look. You've got this drawer, you pull it out, it says hello to you, a little jingle, and it's a 6-setting dishwasher. Now, it's a luxury feature, it's a luxury appliance, it's by Fisher Paykel. It's really nice, but this is highly sustainable. Because if you take a load of dishes, say you got some friends over, you got 6 people that just had dinner, you got a lot of stuff. You can pack this thing full, run 1 load of dishes for 6, and it'll use just barely above 1 gallon of water. You compare that to doing dishes in a sink, you're probably gonna use 5 or 10 gallons of water to wash dishes by hand. One of the things that's unique to Living Vehicle is you have surfaces that are not only light and bright, because I believe, you know, spaces like this, a small space should still be a light, bright, feel very enjoyable to be in. So it's white, but it's not just paint. Every piece of cabinetry you see here, this is all 100% aluminum cabinets. So take a look at this. It's anodized aluminum on the handle there. It's fully integrated. We have multiple latching mechanisms. So on all these drawers and doors, you have 2 different latches. All this stuff here, 2 latches here. Because one of my gripes, whenever I was traveling inside, say an RV or a bus or a van, inevitably I'd have one of these overheads open up and all my stuff would just come down and end up on the floor. And so I learned those lessons, and I'm trying to design something better for people that really want to live in these spaces full time. So you get off grid, got all your stuff, have a lot of storage space, all these things. Look at that. That's solid in there. So that's mounted with hex nuts to either side. So you're going to make sure that this not only stays closed, but all your shelves up in there are going to stay put. So we are really passionate about indoor air quality and the sustainability of indoor spaces. And powder coating is one of the healthiest finishes. It's not a laminate or something like that to where you're going to have all these different chemicals and glues in the air. Really nice finish, very high quality. I mean, you should take a look at the details on here. All right, as we move our way around, we got these really nice windows. This option here, this is just a pull down blind, so these are blackouts. We do have an option where you can just push a button, all that stuff comes down all at once for, you know, those that value that kind of stuff. Got a couple different outlets here for power. Of course, all the outlets. This unit is designed to run off grid. So every single piece of equipment that I'm going to show you today can be run off the LV Energy system. That means you are basically generating power completely self-sufficient, self-reliant from the sun. And you have backup power generation, you have alternators and all sorts of other stuff that I'll go into later. But everything you see today, including this massive 3-burner induction stove, can be used off grid, powered by the energy system. That's a 240 volt stove. It's a true residential style high power stove. Brand new for this model, to complete what I call the electrified chef's kitchen option. This is for folks that just love to cook. My wife, Joanna, my business partner, she really inspired a lot of the design. And with that is kind of a real world, boots on the ground, what's it like to cook in a small space. So she really helped me design the flow of the kitchen, making sure that you have good flow around something that you're going to notice here, this island. This is a feature that is part of Living Vehicle that is just really unique, especially in a space that doesn't have any slide outs or anything like that. You can walk all the way around this. Now the island has storage itself, so you can pull this open. You got a place for cutlery, storage of goods, a lot of space underneath. Now, special to this island is it is removable. So you can go down there, open up these two different drawers here, and then you have hand nuts underneath there. You can lift it up, bring it outside, and that's where you can cook outside on the patio deck. And I'll show you that real quick. Right outside the patio deck, this is a 8-foot by 8-foot patio. It just lowers with a push of a button. There's railings on there, and you can just lower those, raise them up in about a minute, and then you just latch it up with a couple cotter pins, and you got a great space to enjoy out there. I mean, I'm all about getting outdoors and enjoying that. So as we continue along the kitchen, there's a couple other things like right behind me. Let's show you here. Let's not let the fridge fall by the wayside. This is a 13 cubic foot refrigerator. This is an all solar powered fridge. It pulls energy from the sun, all electric. It's got an ice maker up here. If you're going to live off grid, you're probably not going to be going to restaurants every day. And so you need a lot of space for not just cold food storage, you know, nice big freezer. It's stainless steel. This is, of course, an Energy Star appliance. It's the highest efficiency appliance that I could find on the market, so that we're using as little power as possible wherever we're traveling. For dry goods, full-size pantry. Now the cabinetry, again, is phenomenal. The quality of this stuff, that's really what we're trying to elevate. Is if you're going to live in a small space, it gets a lot of use. Every time you travel, you're going to have a 9.0 earthquake wherever you're going. And so you got to take that awareness and say, how do I keep that stuff inside my cabinets whenever I'm traveling? And so these shelves, they can be moved. There's these little hex nuts down there. You just take an Allen wrench and you move them up and down, but then you mount them and they are going nowhere. I mean, this is heavy duty stuff. So quality first is the name of the game when it comes to Living Vehicle. And there's one more thing that I'll show you is right down here at the corner here in between the refrigerator and the oven is a dual waste receptacle. So these are two full-size cans. There's a trash can. You got two of these right down there. And so you have, you know, trash and recycling or trash and compost, whatever have you. And it's really nice just to be able to put that away, get it out of sight, and make sure you have a great solution for trash management. All right, so about 15, 20 years ago, I was working as an architect at the time here in Santa Barbara. And always knew I wanted to do that, but, you know, quit my day job and thought I would go out on my own. And I bought and renovated by hand myself a vintage Airstream trailer. And I thought I was going to use that to reduce my overhead and live a very kind of rent-free basic life. And I was living just on some land. You know, I was living at $400 a month and I didn't have a lot of money, so I thought it was a great solution. But what I did is I designed it and I made it really nice. And the only project I had to market at the time was a vintage trailer. And so some folks I think picked up the story. This was before kind of the van life and all that stuff took off. And people resonated with it. And so the next thing I knew, instead of having architecture jobs, I was renovating trailers for other people here in town. And I was just a one-man shop at the time, barely getting by. And you know, one trailer turned into two, and the next thing I knew, you know, about 10 years later, I had a 30-man shop, and I had renovated, you know, about 400 trailers and buses and vans. All right, so I'm sitting inside the living room of the Living Vehicle. This is the anchor space for all your entertainment, just hang out, lounge, enjoy. This is a multi-purpose space. And one of the concepts about LV is that because it's a small space, we're not into pop-outs and slide-outs and just making space bigger. We're all about maximizing the efficiency of space by use of space in more than one use. So I got a saying where if a space serves only one purpose, effectively it's a waste of space. So this space right here is like 3 or 4 different purposes. And right now it's kind of in what I'd say the dining room mode, where you got this beautiful walnut table. You can seat 6 here, so you could put some chairs out on the other side here, seating for 3 down over here. And this table becomes your dining room. Now, this also is your lounge. So another thing you can do is you can take this table out, you can lower it down with a smaller pedestal, and this turns into a coffee table. So this is kind of a lounge space then when you have the coffee table. Of course, this also converts into a queen size bed. Now it's a true queen size bed. It's 60 inches by 80 inches, so you can have standard sheets, and it's also big enough, especially for tall folks like myself. By the way, I am 6'5", so when I stand up, this ceiling height in here is 6'10", so it's a lot of great ceiling height, especially for taller individuals. Another option that we offer in this, we don't have it in this unit, but it's called the Euroloft. So directly mirroring this queen size conversion bed directly above me, there is a hidden bed which you can install right up above. It's an option for those that have families and you just want to have the hidden guest bedroom up there. You push a button, that thing comes right down in about 2-3 seconds, and you can always leave the bed made. It's always sitting up there ready for your guests. So when this is in the kind of pull out section, this is just a really nice kind of pad lounge chill space. And then when you're just sitting here, you've got your entertainment system. Now, of course, we got the obligatory television with 42 inches 4K high def TV. So you got all your chill features, including Netflix, and it's a smart integrated TV with Apple TV and Amazon and all that stuff. So you can enjoy that. Now that taps into a high quality hi-fi audio system, which is fully integrated to the ceiling. Check this out. We have in here a subwoofer by Sonos. So this is a Wi-Fi wireless audio and video system. So you pump in great bass. This is a wireless amp which sends audio to the in-ceiling speakers, which are all throughout the unit. Now let's see, we also have this great walnut finish. To the left and right here we have a bunch of shelves so you can store your gear, also found artifacts, what have you. Upper left there, you see that is the Wi-Fi hub. This unit, of course, is fully Wi-Fi capable. It has antennas on the roof. In addition, we got the latest. It's the Starlink flat dish, which you can put up there and you can go wherever you want. You get satellite internet all over the place. So, you know, for those like myself that live and work on the road, this is a great solution so you can take business with you. I'd say this is one of the first installations of this ever in a production vehicle is the mini split 240 volt dual zone heating system. So we have the European style heat system, which is fully integrated to the outside, and that pumps in over 24,000 BTUs of heat and cooling capacity down to -4 degrees. And so if you're going to be living, you know, and that's Fahrenheit, by the way, you know, down -4 degrees, that's significant. And so electric heat runs fully from the energy system. Again, everything is designed to be powered by the sun. And so this unit right here, it just blows really nice, silent, very cold, very warm, depending on wherever you go. And this is a very comfortable space, especially in hot and cold climates. And all that time I was living in a small space, you know, and what started out as that vintage Airstream trailer turned into a van. I did that for a while. And then I lived on a boat, a really basic boat here in the Santa Barbara Harbor, the one that I could barely stand up in and develop neck issues. But I learned a lot about living in small spaces, not only from living firsthand myself with me and my wife, but renovating spaces for all these different customers. I learned so much about what people wanted, the spatial flow of a small space, what makes a space work and what makes it not work. And so after renovating all these different spaces and all these different vessels, is what I called them, what we really realized is that we wanted to design something better. And we just couldn't do that with the stuff that was already on the marketplace. All right, so right down the hallway in this beautiful walnut solid door, we have the bathroom. Bathroom is one of the spaces that I have always struggled with living in a bunch of small, tiny homes. I've lived in boats, I've lived in vans, and not a lot of them were actually tall enough for me to be in. So it might not look like it on camera, but I am 6'5". So this is a 6'10" living space because a lot of these spaces, like I lived on a boat, it was a very basic boat that I think I bought for about $20,000. Lived on there for a couple of years with my wife, and I never once could stand up in the shower. I developed neck issues because I was always kind of doing this when I took a shower with a handheld, and the shower was one of the most important features in the bathroom to me. So I designed this bathroom space with a lot of clearance, and by the way, in this we even have an option where you can put a skylight and increase the height even more, so that you have this beautiful open space and it just lets a ton of light into the bathroom. There's a window right behind me that we have shut right now, but there's a lot of light, bright energy inside this bathroom space. Another thing is that we want a bathroom to feel really enjoyable and high-end. It's a little contrary to tiny little living spaces, but the materials in here are just super genuine. We have walnut all the way through the foot of the shower. That's just a floor level walnut mat, which just goes straight from the bathroom floor into the shower. That becomes your drain pan. So it really does a nice, it borrows space. It's a true, a true shower. So it's a dry shower. But you can pull the shower curtain over and you have a 32-inch by 36-inch residential size shower, and it's got all sorts of different levers. You got your overhead rain shower experience, but also you've got if you're off grid and you want to conserve shower water, make the most out of those 5 gallons that you can generate every single week or every day, 5 gallons a day. Then you're going to want to use the off-grid shower wand. And then we have some other features inside the shower. You've got this fold-down shower seat for folks that want to either sit while they're showering or shave your legs, stuff like that, or for older folks that want to leverage that feature if you have accessibility issues. That's something that we really care about. The shower itself, you have a lot of great little shelves here, so you can put your shampoo bottles, other stuff. You can just leave it on there while you're traveling. So that makes sure that you have space to use the things that you're going to use on a daily basis instead of having to always open up cabinets and moving stuff all around. So as we move out of the shower, you'll take your towel or your robe right after you're finished. You don't want a lot of condensation, a lot of humidity. That's something that we always struggle with in small spaces. So there's a couple things we do here to manage that. One is you want to get the air out. So of course you can open up the window right behind me. Number 2, you've got a very high power ventilation fan, which sucks air right here, drives it right out. So that's nice and high. So the steam comes out and then right out the fan in between you and the mirror. Now what's great about this mirror is this is a touch mirror. You can turn it on, you can turn it off, but you also have this feature. It is a little guy you push right there, and that's an anti-fog technology so that it heats up the back of the mirror so that the mirror stays without fog. Pretty cool. The other anti kind of fog, keeps humidity and condensation down, is this heater. So we put this electric heater, it's a radiant heater which draws air up through the heater and then it lets it out this vent on the top. Now what that does is it draws heat and it warms up your towels, so it warms out and dries out your towels. So you don't have things that are, staying wet, staying moist, and creating mold, mildew, and all that stuff, because condensation is a big thing you got to deal with. The final thing for condensation and humidity control is non-porous surfaces. Every wall, every material, everything you can touch in here that's a structure is aluminum. Now this is a heat-treated paint. This is the kind of stuff that you find on commercial trucks outside. It has been actually baked on at the factory, so there's no VOCs in this, and there's no way you can get it. It's just like a whiteboard. So when they're cooking that paint on that aluminum panel at the factory, the residue, the VOCs from that process are actually upcycled to where they create more power for the furnace to burn more panels, and so it's a pretty cool manufacturing process. We do have some heat vents in here. Of course, it's heated and cooled. We have, if you turn that on, you draw air in from the outside, so you keep this conditioned just like all your other spaces. Water saving. So this is an option. We do have an option for a couple different toilets. Right now we have 3. This is a compost toilet. It's a urine diverting toilet, so you send solids down one, liquids down the other, down into the tank, and it's basically a bucket, dries it out. What I really like about this is that it's basically scent free. Compost toilets are pretty cool because this tube right here is a air vent, so that draws air up and out the roof, and there's a negative pressure differential. What that means is just like an airline toilet. When you sit on an airline toilet, they never really smell. That's because there's a fan that draws air down into the toilet, so all those smells you're making go down and then out the roof. So really nice for those of you that value that kind of thing. You want to make sure you have a lot of storage in your bathroom, and that's something that we have really made sure is we accommodate for. You've got a full height medicine cabinet with 3 drawers in there. Of course, they are all adjustable, just like everything else inside here. A new feature to this year of Living Vehicle is this redesigned vanity cabinet. So underneath this solid surface countertop, we have different doors and drawers. It's 4 drawers down to the right, and so you have kind of a, if you got 4 people living in here, everyone pick a drawer. So that's pretty cool. And then you've got a space here for additional supplies, stuff like that. So let's see. Oh, right above me, you've got a one of the speakers for the audio system. So if you want to jam out while you're sitting in here and do some shower singing, stuff like that, like I do, you can turn on your favorite tunes and have something different in here than everywhere else inside the unit. So you can each be rocking out to your own beat. And that's pretty much the spa bathroom. And next, we're going to take a look right outside inside the hallway, and I'll show you the energy system and all the monitor panels that control the entire unit. And so in order to design something better, something that was really purpose-built for full-time use, I needed to start at the beginning. So what I did is I had this vision that I wanted to go out and build my own vessel. And so I contacted a manufacturer and designed something myself. And I just started from scratch. And I had some customers and said, hey, why don't you, instead of putting it in this other space, why don't you try this out? And so that's what started Living Vehicle about 5 years ago. And so, since then we've been improving every year and really just trying to make it the best quality, highest end, completely off-grid, self-sustaining home possible. Now, my goal with Living Vehicle is to create a fully independent living solution that is truly a home. While this may look like a trailer, it's got wheels, it's designed to be a home first and foremost. It's designed to live like a home, 4 seasons, completely disconnected from the grid. Just my vision is to get out in nature and live independently without having to ever come home. All right, so right here in the hallway, right as you enter the unit, this is a great, kind of central location for all of your systems, controls, and monitor panels. So we try and keep this as simple as possible. And I'll start with all this stuff, but then this guy is kind of your Mac Daddy. This is what controls a lot of the stuff, so we'll go into that last. As I said, the Living Vehicle is first and foremost electric. It's all electric, but it does have gas backup because we're living in a space where we're moving towards electric. That's my goal. My goal is to be a fully off-grid, all-electric, 100% electricity-built product. We're there. You don't need to use any of the gas backups, but if and when you do, because nothing ever goes according to plan, and our world still has cloud cover, we still live in rural areas where there's winter, where there's only like 4 hours of sun a day, and if you want to still live in luxury off-grid, we got a lot of different tech in here. So we have a backup propane generator that's 6,500 watts, so you can charge your energy system. That also powers up all your electronics when you turn that thing on. This is one of the heat systems. This is a backup heat, so 2 backups right here. This is a gas-powered heat, so for when you go really cold and you want to turn that thing on, fire it up, that comes standard. Is a backup heat source. It's 35,000 BTUs. Now the other thing that's really nice is this tankless water heater. This is one of 2 options. You can do an electric or you can do this. This is a gas. This is one of the electric heat add-ons. So if you want even more electric heat than your 2 mini split systems, which go down to -4, you can turn that thing on. That's primarily if you're kind of plugged into grid. That takes a little bit more power, but it's really nice because it's just always on. It gives you a little nice ambient temperature to always bring up that chill factor. Tank monitors. This is one way that you monitor tanks. You got your fresh gray and black tank. And then you have some different control panels here. You turn your awning in and out with these 2 buttons here. And then a belly fan. This is really cool. You turn this on, it's silent. But what that does is it circulates air through the space. So underneath the floor here, and we'll show you the basement, and that's where we put all of our energy systems. That's what makes this unit a 4-season capable unit. So we put all of our sensitive infrastructure, our systems, our plumbing, our water tanks, all of our water lines in the basement, and that's inside the conditioned space. That means the insulation's on the outside, all that stuff's on the inside, and if it's warm inside here, it's going to be warm down there because you're circulating air down into the basement. The other thing that does is it actually makes the floor warm, because if you have 70 degrees inside and you're pushing 70-degree air down below, we've got an all aluminum 1/8 inch floor with little ribs, little joists. It's just like a radiator. So that is a heat gain, and that takes heat from the basement of the air circulating down below, and it radiates heat into the space. So the entire floor is a passive warm floor system. Pretty cool. And then this brings us to the main control system of the LV energy system. Now what's so cool about the energy system is it is massive. This is a powerhouse of power. Right now, we do have some shade overhead, so actually we don't have shade, we're in full sun, but we're 100%, so we're just trickle charging using loads. That's why it's down to 400 watts. But this shows us right now that we are generating 400 watts of power from a 4,400 watt solar array with 2 solar awnings on the roof. You see these little blue dots moving throughout here? That is real-time energy flow. So that tells you the movement of power in your system. I love how intuitive this is. And then it just shows you you're bringing power, trickle charging in AC loads for line 1 and 2. This is a 240 volt system, so you have massive power capabilities for higher demand appliances. Also, you got DC power running here. We have 12 and 24 volts because our energy system's wired for 24, same thing with the solar, and you can just run all your standard 12 volt stuff too. The battery pack on this unit is massive. This is a 72 kilowatt hour. That's 72,000 watt hours of power. And this is about, I think we've got, a Tesla Powerwall is about 7 kilowatts. So you do the math, you got about, 10 Tesla Powerwalls or something like that. It's pretty silly the amount of power that we have inside this thing. And that's, of course, because we're designed to live off-grid. First and foremost, completely powered by the sun. we're in this world where we're transitioning from this to that. You know, right now I call it the electric myth, where everyone came out and there was this big push towards all electric vehicles. And then you saw this negative press, oh, this thing can't do that, it can't tow that. Like, we're in this beautiful transition right now from fossil fuels to all electric, and we're on that cusp right now. So we're powering some systems from electricity, all of it's electricity, but we have backup in place. And my vision is that when you have a vehicle in the front, whether it's a tow vehicle and you have a trailer behind you, or you have a fully integrated unit with a kind of a motorhome style unit, which we can do, then that's electric powered too. So you're generating enough power to live and move in your world without ever having to go to a gas station or to fill up water tanks or to fill up any of those resources. And so sustainability has always been number one for me. I'm a licensed architect in California, and have been since about 2009. And another thing that I do is I'm a LEED accredited professional, so leadership and environmental design. And I'm very proud that our unit has just recently, you know, it's received TRA certification. It is a Emerald off-grid level. So that's a certification standard for recreational vehicles, to where you have a sustainable kind of standard. It's a seal that you put on, and that's right on the front door. And it has received the highest level, but we are way off the charts in all four categories. There's indoor air quality, and there's resource efficiency, recycled content, stuff like that. It all combines to make a very sustainable space. And so my vision is just to create something to where you can live your best life. All right, so unique to the HD model is a dedicated bedroom suite. Now, this bedroom suite right now is configured with a queen bed. This is a really nice, high quality queen. It's a true 80-inch by 60-inch queen, so it's a full size, or it's a true queen size. But this is only one of like 5 options. The queen bed can also be configured as a king. So if you want a little bit more space, you lose a little bit of space on the sides, but you can still walk to either side. The nightstands to either side get a little bit smaller. Now we have another option, which is called the mobile office. The mobile office is right behind me. It gets installed. It's basically a Murphy bed, and that Murphy bed is installed horizontally. Now on the face of that, you have a vertical plane. On that vertical plane, you can install a bunch of equipment. You could put monitors, you could put, you know, all sorts of speakers or whatever equipment you want to do. If you have a bunch of like mobile production studio, you could build that out inside this space, and you have an 80-inch desk, a 2-person desk that goes right underneath that. So that's a walnut desk. That's the mobile office. It's also a queen bed. You just pull it down in one simple motion. If you have a family, big family, and you want to make this into a bunk room, you got 4 kids, we can do that. This queen bed, you can install a Euroloft. It's another queen bed that drops down from the ceiling to have sleeping for 4 inside this space. So the bedroom has a lot of different options. There's a final option. It's a twin. So either side you can have separate autonomous sleeping. If you got, you know, folks that want to enjoy that type of sleeping arrangement, it's got a nightstand in between the two. So what's great about this bedroom is that in any of the fixed bed configurations, you have a ton of storage underneath the bed. Now the bed lifts up. It's on gas struts, so they're pressurized, so they hold the bed up themselves. And then you have a 6-drawer dresser underneath the king, 4-drawer underneath the queen, and you got a ton of storage underneath that bed to store winter gear or, you know, sports equipment or anything that you want to take with you when you're, you know, staying off grid. Right above, talking about storage, you got a ton more storage right up behind my head, and that's just more overhead storage lockers. One of the options, we do a home theater system. So if you're chilling in here, you're back in this, and you've got a pull-down 70-inch screen at your feet, and then right in this center storage bin, you can put a 4K projector, which gives you a home theater system. You can also do integrated architectural speakers with another subwoofer inside this room itself. Let's see, got a window on both sides. So that's what's new about this model, is the reconfiguration of the bedroom allows you open up those windows and you get cross ventilation to either side, so you get really nice air to be inside this space. Now, talking about ventilation, there is another zone. So you see this indoor air handler for the mini split system. That's the dedicated zone for the bedroom. That can do both heat and cool. The heat goes down to -4 degrees. The cool, you know, well up to like 110, 120 degrees, keep you nice and cold. Of course, that's running 240 volts from your energy system, so that's powered by the sun. Inside here, we do have a lot of other heating elements inside the floor. We have multiple different kind of heat. So you have radiant heat. You also have your gas forced air heat, which then circulates air back down into the basement, because that basically is a return air plenum. And then at the foot of the bed, behind what would be the projector screen, if you do have that installed, is a 6-foot closet. So when I'm traveling on the road, the reality is that you've got a lot of space to keep your stuff. You know, you still have clothes, you still have things, you still need to be traveling. And my favorite, probably my favorite feature about this whole thing is the combo washer and dryer, because if it really is an effort in saving time. Because if you're going to be spending half your day going to a laundromat, you're not outside enjoying, you know, your life, doing whatever you do. So you put clothes inside there in the morning and let it run for a few hours, and then you come back and they're dry. They're washed, they're dry, you don't have to do anything. I love that feature. Inside the closet, you also have a safe installed for valuables, and that's bolted down to the shelf. And again, above that, you have just a bunch of space for more gear. Now inside the hallway is right at the foot there is a port for keeping the unit clean. That's part of, if you're gonna do housekeeping, you got a central vac port. So just plug that in, and that's powered by the energy system, and that cleans up, you know, anywhere inside the unit. It also stretches out front to back, also can clean out your truck. Outside. So one of the coolest things about LV is that it is a deployable home. So it's a deployable home that's designed to exist independently, completely off grid, but you can take it with you. So thank you so much for watching. If you're interested to learn more, you can check us out at livingvehicle.com. That is also the same handles for all of our Instagram, Twitter, you know, TikTok. I think we're on there. All of those handles, you can reach out and follow us. Please do subscribe. We also got a great active YouTube channel. Also, big thanks to Tiny Home Tours, and see you on the road.